Turn to ban.
I'd be down to see OG do their like ban all the offlaner strat again. I think that was pretty cool, and it might work even better against Virtus Pro. Put Rezo into an uncomfortable position. Last time they banned what, like Mars Centaur Axe or something like that.
Yeah, that was all last heroes. All the heroes that he's played before. Now, do you feel like that works better because they have two offlaners? So that they're going to be, there's a small pool, and then they take two more, and then there's nothing left?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just
I feel like
creating
that
a
could
monopoly.
backfire just as easily,
Yeah,
you know?
monopoly.
like a Virtus Pro's like, okay, let's ban all the offlaners.
Yeah.
And then they take like one offlaner, then what's left?
Yeah.
9 offlaners later, there's nothing left in the pool.
They ban like Pango Centaur Axe, then
Yeah.
they're just gonna full commit to doing it.
I think the cool thing is 33's hero pool is like pretty funky. Like he plays a lot of
Yeah.
weird, unconventional heroes that not your everyday player. Like he'll bust out a Visage or something, you know. He plays the Broods.
Still haven't seen that hero, sadly.
That
Yeah.
hero is not great.
Alright, so this was honestly a pretty easy assumption. If they were going to do it against Cyber Legacy, of course they're going to do it against Virtus Pro, in my opinion. Where Rezo feels as though he should be the person to target. He's newer to offlane. He has certain heroes that he likes to play against. There are certain heroes that he likes to play with. Like,
10 seconds.
I think they're trying to take advantage of that right now.
And so not only in draft, but in games, you also just try and put the most pressure on Rezo, put him out of his comfort zone.
I really feel like if OG feels like they're going to do that against them, or Cyber Legacy, like Rezo is the perfect person to do it too. I would imagine a Pango ban comes up next, maybe Centaur, but I think Pango is pretty good too. You can ban both of them. You have 4 bans now.
Cool.
Oh, okay. So they get rid of like one serious first pick hero.
That has been the most played hero by Virtus Pro at ESL 1 so far.
So there's a lot of first picks still. There's Ember Spirit, Ember Tusk, Shadow Demon, Pango, like all good options. Keeper of the Light, I believe, is still in the pool too.
Yep.
Like there's a ton, and so Virtus Pro, life is a little bit complicated for them right now because they know that they have to give up 2 first pick worthy heroes. And so they just have to figure out themselves which one they want to take out of that, which is why they're kind of holding on to this ban.
Now they have to also factor in the fact that the offlane pool is going to be quite small. So maybe normally you'd first pick that Coddle, for example, but you're like, well, what if they then take like the Centaur or the Pango and there's no offlaners left, for example? You may have to first pick the offlaner.
So that's why this strategy by OG is pretty unique and interesting.
Well, VP definitely chewing through a lot of time here, a bit caught out by some of the OG bans.
This last ban always takes the longest, right? Because it's you're trying to figure out what they're going to last ban, so you'll know what's available in that first pick territory.
Okay, so they banned Keeper. So now you have Tusk, Centaur, Pango. I think they really liked Pango last time, but they might just feel like with all the heroes that aren't available, Centaur is also a really good option too.
There's Oracle Troll. That combo is still out there as well.
Oracle is banned by VP.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. But Shadow Demon, so I think they looked at it like, okay, there's the 3 big 5s, Coddle, Shadow Demon, Oracle, 2 are banned. We're going to take the Shadow Demon.
Do they Chen Tusk? We'll see. That's what really popular combo that we've seen lately. We don't see a lot of people pick Chen, but like, do you see all the really old school 5s? Like Puppy, Kuro, they really like it.
And when OG pick it, it can be flexed into a core role. 33, of course, can play it in that kind of 3 position role. I guess he's the mid laner technically, but he played a offlane Chen when Sumail was mid Ember, I believe, early in the tournament. So this was 2 heroes that had him one of their earlier drops, actually, the Chen with the Ember.
There's Nyx Assassin you can take, there's Tusk, still the offlane option that you can take of either Pango or Centaur. Still a lot of good second choice heroes here.
And the Chen feels even better because Shadow Demon not a hero that addresses Chen very well. Some of those 5s are much better against the Chen, like the Witch Doctors where you have the cask. You may want to consider like the Mirana, the Arrow against the Chen creeps. You also have the setup from Shadow Demon, but first doing a Mirana, like, I don't know, I think if anything you just want to get your Rezo, Pango, Centaur type hero here, not reveal too much.
It's pretty interesting though. Like, I even forgot about the Ember because there's so many different heroes that are available to everybody. Normally at this point, there's a very clear option. It's like, oh, okay, Shadow Demon's left. Probably somebody will take Shadow Demon. Or there's a Tusk plus Chan left or something like that. So they take Centaur because I think revealing your support duo this early on is kind of bad anyways.
And it's very, OG know exactly what heroes Rezo has been playing and wants to play. Like, it was going to be probably the Centaur or the Pango, and that's that.
Do you feel like the number of bans that we have at the start is part of the reason that we have so many like must-pick heroes in that first 4? I mean, it feels like we've got a list of like very often 5 to 8 heroes that are all like really strong right now that are viable in that first pick. Is that because there's more bans at the start, so the most powerful heroes are banned away, or is it just more of the meta right now that there's a lot of different options?
I feel like it is because of the first thing you're saying, where there is, you know, there's these extra bans, so it created this small elite group of heroes that would slightly flip through. But then what happens when there's all these extra bans is you get a game like this where neither team targets those top meta heroes. You have one team targeting the offlaners, the other team, I mean, we haven't seen that many first bans on Lycan and DP, I feel. Like, these are heroes that usually will sometimes slip through. So both teams banned some unconventional stuff, which meant those typical bans, everything suddenly flooded through. Bristleback we've seen used very successfully this tournament, gets banned up by OG. Particularly against the Ember. This is a hero I feel like has caused Ember a lot of problems in lane and in the game as a whole.
You're just really tanky and you can run down.
Not afraid of the Chen creeps, or just Chen in general too.
Doesn't bother you. Not enough damage. He can go Spirit Vessel, but you can go Lotus Orb.
Yep.
At this point, you're probably looking at your 4 position, I'm guessing. You want to leave, I mean, I guess you could also take your offlaner, but the important thing is you want to leave your mid and safe lane open, right, for Ember Spirit to flex into.
Yeah, and maybe you want to keep that flex by picking a 4. Your Chen can still flex between the 5 and the 3 roll.
Right.
So I think that would make a lot of sense. Figure out what Saxa wants to play. Surprised to see Tusk go untouched. That hero's just looked insane. But they get Jakiro, which theoretically is a 5, so this maybe does lean towards the Chen being a core again.
Yeah, it could be. Pairs nicely with the Ember Spirit.
Yeah. Chains
leads into an easy ice path, maybe even a macro pyre.
We've got multiple heroes with these long-range disables, the Ember and the Jakiro, the slide steering chains, and then the ice path. It's just so annoying. It's this constant poke damage where you just feel like you're losing half your health before a fight even begins, and you didn't have a chance to use any spells or do any damage yourself.
Creates a nice barrier of sorts against the Centaur Stampede.
Can't rely on Stampede escape when they're just constantly kiting you and poking at you. And it's a hero that theoretically sieges towers and plays fast pace with the Chen. Like, if you're looking to go for that fast 20-25 minute game, you've got Jakiro, you've got the Liquid Fire. It's a good pushing hero as well.
Grimstroke. This is looking like it could be a good, Grimstroke Slark game? Grimstroke Riki?
I think it's a better Grimstroke Riki game. It's really good against Ember Spirit in game, and a lot of these like squishier supports that don't have like an insta way of getting out. Chen's a little bit annoying because he has so much heal, but if you can get on top of him too, he has no defensive capability. Ice Path is like not a bad spell at all against Riki because you can pop it on top of where the tricks and trades are, but you can wait it out a little because no matter what, OG... So the tricky thing about drafting against OG is you're not really sure who the off-lane hero is. Like, they can do it in a lot of different ways with his Chen and stuff like that. So in terms of that, first pick might not be the biggest advantage it normally is.
I would be a little scared picking Riki or Slark into OG's draft right now, because if they are playing that super fast-paced let's group up and just constantly fight. Neither of those heroes wants to fight into like these 5-man kind of lineups.
Yeah.
They struggle versus that. And you're better off just using the Inkswell on like the Centaur or I don't know. I'm trying to think what the other heroes that want to come online and just fight into 5-man Death Ball is a bit more, but Slark definitely feels very, very risky.
That's a Shaker. I mean, I think Ricky is pretty good here.
Yeah.
Based on what I see. With the combos that you have SD Disrupt too to be able to save him. I think that he plays well on this back line, and he's going to be like a good killer, I should say. Or like something like Spec or something, if you feel like OG doesn't have enough damage.
It might be that a more durable hero is better against the long-range stuns of Fissure, Ice Path. Those more mobile heroes may have a hard always staying ahead of these disables, but
I just want a hero that can utilize the Grimstroke and get on top of them. But they go the other way and just go pure tanky.
Good hero to lane against the Ember as well. If we're expecting maybe Sumail to rotate towards that mid lane to play the Ember, no one's probably thinking like, all right, what's my good matchup going to be against an Ember? And Necro, one of those heroes that crushes this lane.
They could just swerve though and put like Chen off lane, Shaker safe lane, like Chen plus like Shakira off, something like that, and then move Ember to the safe lane.
I also would not be shocked to see a mid Chen. As crazy as that sounds, there's creep camps right next to your lane. You can grab some of those small to those medium camp creeps. You can just use the Chen, grab a enemy range creep, and just get all the last hits. You know, I imagine there's ways you could play the Chen mid. 33 is the kind of creative player that would pull something like that out.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, they're really flexible with the heroes that they have right now. Like, you're not really sure what direction they're going. I would like them to have something though that just like hits everything. So Spectre like Ricky.
They banned the Gyrocopter, which does kind of hit everything in a fight, but also leads to what you were kind of talking about, Gods, which is you're afraid of getting run over by OG. Yep. Gyrocopter is a bit faster paced.
I feel like VP don't have much teamfight at all right now. Like, there's no real big ultimates to be afraid of, and they just don't have many actual tools when OG looks to play around this Chen, these aura items that are going to be coming out. A core Chen's going to get all those aura items up that much faster, and that's something you've got to be a little bit worried about. But Necro, at least a hero that you can kind of just sit in front with the Centaur, so two very tanky frontliners in OG. Right now the damage is really just this Ember Spirit, so...
And there's the Spectre.
One pick too late, I called it, but yeah. I did feel like they needed something that hits in the backline. I thought Ricky was good too with the Grim, but Spectre is like
much
just
better at finding.
I wanted something that just like hits everything.
Yeah. And it fits in with the durability that we were talking about with the Necrophos, right?
Yeah, the Ricky's
kind of both the best worlds.
The Ricky's not so durable, and I think what Blitz mentioned about like the Ice Path against Ricky is really annoying to play against. And then you've got Shaker as well. You've got these two disables from Fog that just can ruin your game.
And the Brewmaster, that's going to be our second off-lane hero. So who is going where? And who's taking what?
33 Chen and Seb Brew would be my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to be in the off-lane Chen and then mid Brewmaster?
They could safe lane it against the Centaur if they don't want that matchup.
I think we're seeing mid Chen against Necro. That's my...
Okay. I think Sumail will be...
completely just speculating, but
I think Sumail will be safe lane. I think he wants to play against the Centaur. Like, I think Ember against Centaur is a matchup that feels okay. You just go Blightstone. Centaur doesn't have the most armor.
Okay. And do you think that's going to be enough for OG?
I personally like VP's draft. I thought the Spectre pick was very good. So I'll go with them. I think that he's a hero that can go late game, but he puts a lot of pressure on OG to end the game really early, because I don't think as the game scales they'll have enough damage. Like, once he gets Manta, Radiance, like Diffusal, whatever he wants to get, like, there's a lot of options that are good this game. He can even just go Diffu into Manta and then build like a Butterfly into Heart or something, and he'll be really unkillable in my opinion.
God, do you agree?
I definitely agree. I think if this game drags out, but this is going to be one of those OG games we saw in that first series versus Name, where they're looking to run over them. Look at 33's chance to set the tempo, and I would slightly favor VP, but it would not shock me to see OG just run over them, take a bunch of team fights early, and just crush this game in like 20-25 minutes.
All right, well, no matter what the outcome is, you at home who's watching OG versus Vertistro, you already know it's going to be a home run. But when you see the casters, you're going to know it's a grand slam.
I shall honor you.
Know your place.
Break time's over, Jess.
Indeed, VP versus OG, the two top teams in this the group. It should be a great one, right? VP is undefeated in OG, right? Everyone thinks this is one of the best teams, and you see the odds. This is pretty much dead even. Do you agree?
Yeah, you guys at home as well as myself. This is going to be a very competitive series. Whether or not that means it's going to be like 3 stomps, you know, or it's back and forth. It's pretty crazy how in a meta like this, the game's pretty snowbally. That I think these games could be kind of one-sided, but like in a way that just one team out-strategizes the other, not because one team's strictly better than the other. And we are going to see a mid-Chen. The Gods talked about this. That was his prediction of the game, and that is the case. It doesn't really make sense to lane Ember. They don't have any other carry either. And your Brewmaster should have a pretty good start because he has that fissure block. That's the nice part about this 4-position shaker. I personally am a bit of a fan of VP's draft, but I also think the unknown factor. Yeah, I was like talking about with you off screen about what they could pick on VP if it is an offlane Shen to lane against it. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've never laned against offlane Shen.
I don't know what is good versus even middle, right? Even middle. Like,
that's the point. Is like I personally have no idea what this Chen is going to do coming from the mid lane in terms of just the overall game impact and like how the CS is going to match up with this Necro, a hero that pretty much always wins its lane. Will that be the case against the 33 mid-Chen? But if somebody is going to run mid-Chen,
it's him.
It's going to be 33 for sure.
Yep, so we'll definitely be keeping an eye out on that. Meanwhile, it is Sumail and No Tail up top. This Jakiro hero, it's seen a little bit of play, right? In South America, we saw Duster play it a little. We've already seen OG play it once or twice. I mean, why aren't we seeing it as much as there are some teams who are willing to pick it? Is it just, what are a hero like THD?
I think it's just the mid-game is underwhelming in comparison to how much Grimstroke, for instance, offers to aggression. And
okay, that makes sense.
Like it's like a Wyvern in terms of lane pushing and D-pushing, but it doesn't offer as much teamfight control and save. So I think it's kind of like a little bit in between of everything. And there's just premium supports right now that really the only thing Jakiro does in lane is the attack speed slow from dual breath that really is unique to this hero. And against Suntar, it seems pretty nice in theory because he does rely heavily on that retaliate right click damage in order to lane properly. Gonna be keeping an eye out for this top lane momentum because gets like level 3-4 first. It's going to come out heavily on top in this particular matchup.
And I've got a mechanics question. So in the middle lane, the Chen decided to take one of the first range creeps from Raid. Is that a bad thing? Does it mean he loses experience?
I've seen this a lot. So the range creep, the way it works is they do piercing damage. So for people at home, what that means is there's different types of damage. You can look it up. Piercing damage does 50% bonus to creeps.
Oh,
so range creep is piercing, so it effectively has 31 damage, but that piercing means it's 45. So him plus that is like 100 damage if he's actually syncing them up.
Okay.
And so I think the idea is that even though you lose that first range creep, look at like you just do so much damage on last hitting that he is winning, or he's not actually winning.
Yeah.
I don't think he can win without the creep, I guess would be my better team.
Body too hard. Like he's keeping up even this little much because he has that extra damage because
and you sustain the creep too. Yeah, pretty decently. It has twice as much health as it normally has. And he has 2 of them now, and now they have 16 damage.
He's in a little bit of trouble. 2 more attacks from Rezo. Looks like he won't have the move speed to catch up there as a courier waddles on by.
I'm just watching this Chen.
Because it feels like so pretty much you're willing to give up experience to gain either the extra last hit or maybe the harass, but no one's just been at full life goal.
No, piercing damage doesn't do full damage to heroes, so it's actually significantly less. You're mainly using it for the last hitting.
No Tail will end up going down. It was close. Silence was getting pushed back. Rezo, and I think we've been saying that like the first series and so we're like, oh, Rezo's still a little shaky on the off lane, and now we're like praising him. His off lane play has been so incredible to watch.
Oh god. Oh my gosh, he fed one of his range creeps on 33, so not only did he take range creep away from himself, but he also gave it
no one has to be happy, right? If you're knowing right now, you're definitely telling your team like this is an easy middle matchup, because you look at it, he's 25 versus the 13-3, an extra range creep as you say, he's double null. I'm sure no one's extremely happy with this.
Yeah, there's very few heroes Necro loses to, and none of them are in this game, so he's going to have a very good laning stage, and relies on that early snowball more so than most other laners.
LTW is taking a lot of damage. You look at Ace, they're going to try to turn it on Seb, but LTW's like, wait a minute, not too much HP, doesn't have the magic stick. But yeah, this bottom lane we didn't talk about too much. As you said, the Earthshaker gets the block, so Brood does get those early levels.
They're going to pull here after the lane pushes into the tower. Looks like, for the most part, everyone's getting theirs, but they are losing by a tad of CS in every lane on the side of
and
OG,
the first blood,
like.
So the gold just slowly is going up in VPs. You see more than 1,000 gold.
As he hit the bottom.
He did. Oh, the Ace will come out of the lane. It looks like they don't want him to come into Option.
Is going to go down, it looks like.
Maybe. 2 seconds poison to 4. Yeah, now you're dead. That multiplier will get him killed. So this top lane going extremely well for Virtus Pro. Now 2 of the kills. Will they get the pull up? Oh my goodness. Well played by Zion's top.
Yeah, that Grimstroke Q does so much damage level 2. I think Seb got nuked for like 300 there because it hit an entire creep camp and a creep wave. He just ran down, yeah.
Dude, VP is storming this game right now, winning all 3 lanes, not just in CS, but in kills.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned for the way OG's been drafting, with this dual offlaner strat playing with no mid laner, and so far, I think they've kind of just been better individually than most of the teams they're playing against. But here, we're seeing VP. They've been looking good all tournament. They're 4-0. They're bringing the heat with a real lineup. I hate to say real, but a very standard lineup.
Yeah.
That one would grow to expect from a professional Dota team, as ILTW does eat a lot of damage bottom, but Solo has TV back in with another Sal.
And
so
a Tango.
Out
the
there,
double, yeah. Thank you, sir.
That's just the support life, man. If your cores are happy, you're happy.
And now you have a Soul Ring, so you do have a little bit more regen just straight up. And Panda is winning 28-2 versus 19-2. And these pulls have been good. So is it going to be Seb who's really going to have to defend these moves in the mid game?
I think Seb, last time I saw him play Brew, I remember specifically it was against a Beastmaster, and he had absolute free farm, and he took over the game. And he doesn't have free farm here because he is having to expend resources to get regen, but at the same time, he is like atop the CS and all the side lanes, and this Necro is going to be a serious problem.
Yeah, this guy's going to be unkillable for a certain amount of the game, it feels like.
He's just going straight Greaves on Necro because he's assuming that Sumail is going to go for the standard safe lane Ember build with the Spirit Vessel. And that's the most preemptive way to deal with it. It's really nice for his teammates. Very mana-starved cores, the Spectre as well as the Centaur. And overall, you want to try to match, I think, the sustain coming out from 33's Chen, as he actually feeds a jungle creep there to no one. So no one's not only getting all of the lane creeps.
He knows what's happening over here. He's like, wait a minute. He's just been going to the jungle. I'm just going to chase him away.
I was a bit concerned about this. I really had no idea for sure.
Kill him? He's dead with an ulti.
Yeah,
he just has to
ring.
not get fired. This is the hard part.
He's just salving himself.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, and no one
Ring
sees that. He needs to get around. And he will. Sumail is here. He makes it to the high ground, though. Sumail doesn't.
No slight for 3.
Slight. He's just gone.
That's tough space, honestly.
It is. Necro just pulls him out, and that means top lane. It is No Tail getting some solo farm, but Rezo, he knows what just happened. He's like, wait a minute. Your character is there. I'm just going to harass you.
It's funny because 33 got like all the CS in the mid lane during that time with these 2 range creeps.
No.
Yeah, don't look at his hero. That's not where the CS is coming. It's the
not, you're right.
This is Enchantress 2.0 in terms of core Enchantress when back last patch when she was getting played, utilizing those creeps in order to get that early farm. And looks like he's got an early home with a Dominator on 33, so if the 4 creeps from his active is not enough, we've now got that as well.
Oh, but so what do you do with this middle? You just let this middle tower drop then?
I don't really know what your option is. He keeps walking into lane and Necro just kills his creeps for free, really, because you just get the regen from the Heartstopper Aura.
And they don't really have someone like Jakiro doesn't have boots, so if a Jakiro goes there to try to stop it, he's just gonna die, right? It feels like no one can go there at this point.
Necro is the range version of Timber. If you're not killing him, your lane's gonna get shoved into your tower, and he naturally just sustains and regens lines up and just effectively trades with whoever's in his lane. So you'll just get bullied slowly but surely over time. It's a war of attrition when it comes to these types of heroes.
And a possible gank bottom from this Necro. They have to know something's up because the rune was scouted out those bottom by Dire. Necro rolling on down. ILTW and Seth. They're just going to duke it out and they get the kill. Now Soxa, the body block with the Invisor, and Soxa knew it was up immediately. That's a 10k of the mark play, but it still won't matter. There's the sight, there's the kill. There's a 4k lead, 6-0 lead for VP. They are looking on point.
Yeah, I like the early point Desolate, something we don't see very often from Spectres. They usually go like the 4-0-4, just maxed out tankiness, regen, farm.
Stay alive and farm build.
Yeah, the nice thing about Desolate, he didn't even level it this game on Brewmaster, but it doesn't miss. So the damage from it is really nice against Drunken Brawler specifically, but he's almost outplayed himself in regards to the fact that Brew just doesn't have that. But it is offering him that little bit of extra damage as they're going on with Brewmaster. Expecting him to probably be alone, and Shaker is the type of 4 position that kind of just leaves his 3 position to their devices. And the reason why I was concerned about the OG draft is a lot of the mid-game momentum and pace is supposed to be set by this Chen. And I really didn't know, but I just don't know very many heroes that beat Necro in lane. Yeah, and he clearly is not one of them based on how this matchup has played out. Both of them have very good CS, but Necro is level 9.
1,500 net worth, by the way.
Full level ahead.
And the middle tower is close going down, but the Necro will just leave it for now. Level 9, he has a full arcane boots and a mech, as you said, going to that Guardian Greaves straight up. Possibly
and a triple stack. Oh, this is the dream.
Oh my goodness. Wait, he's like, wait, why are you guys coming
and
through?
And a faded roach, even more of the dream.
I like this, because I was wondering, I was like, the Chen is getting all the neutral items, and they haven't got many, and then here comes the Necro. It's like, all right, I'll come scoop them all up for us now.
Yeah, something I noticed is it's becoming more and more popular to stack and then farm them right after the 7-minute mark. Obviously, in this case, it's the 10-minute mark, but getting those neutral items ASAP is really important, as Renzo knows for 3.
Yeah, he's going to be a split. He pops it up. Renzo isn't blocked out, but he is going to be put under Bizeye. Just safe for now. Can they block him in? No. Chen as well as Urchin just getting melted down, but still alive though. They are saying no, there's going to be the side to kill off the Chen. Soxa just getting run down by ILTW. They're willing to 5v5 you with the Spectre this early. Sumail's running away. ILTW says, I don't care. Will they kill him? Bonk. It does. Seth goes down. It is 10-0. It is a massacre.
This is what I had a feeling might happen in this series. I said it's going to be probably good Dota, but it might just be incredibly one-sided one way or the other.
It's going to be strategy-based, right?
Yeah.
It feels like
that was the impression I had. I enjoy seeing VP just dissect them like this.
Yeah, this is a clinic.
You have to imagine the threat that OG's lineup has posed when you see it, right? The pace from the Jakiro, the Chen, the early pushing, mid-game carry like Ember, and VP is just slam the door shut.
Yeah, and we talk about, like, when we say, like, OG, they're not doing, like, normal drafts. We're comparing that to the rest of the men. Maybe these are normal drafts for them, but right now,
beating
VP,
everybody else with the drafts, to be fair.
And that's the thing. But then you play in VP, who is 4-0. They're the only other team undefeated besides Secret, and I think we're seeing a little bit of why. Well, not that's done by Rezo, but...
Yeah, that is definitely not why, but he is doing a great job of pressuring this tower with the catapult. Full treads. Next to a little bit of tankiness from that poor man shield is very nice.
There we go. Sumail gets him on the board.
We're on the board, baby.
Killing off solo. They will lose that top tower as you talked about.
GG out.
This is it. You're just like,
kill
whatever.
the support. We're good.
What Spectre is going to Radiance? You like it this game? Just
with this much of a lead, you just go Radiance. I think you only don't go Radiance if you feel like you're forced to participate in a more impactful way earlier on in the game.
Oh my goodness, he already has the full Guardian, and he could have like 800 gold after this wave. He is a monster right now on no one.
I always thought Centaur was considered a counter to Brewmaster, because right when Brewmaster pops a split, you just disengage.
Yeah, and he even held it, right? He got stunned up, but because he's so far ahead to tank, he's like, I'll just wait and use it as an escape.
He might be dead. He can Centaur ult on top of him if he wants, but he's gonna just hold it. I think that's worth holding on to.
Yep, will they get it? No tail, the first one to take a ton of it. They're actually gonna back out. Yep, leave solo to get that kill. Uh-oh. No one has it. You're dead, and you're dead for 51 seconds this early into the game.
Yeah, it's a level 2 Necrophos ulti, so it's 25, not just 15 extra respawn time.
Smoke up immediately. I like this, because Spectre's ulti is coming off cooldown in 25. You could very well just take another fight right away.
Was costly.
this is the dream type of way to play Necro.
Dota,
yeah, Necro defines a lot of strategies when he is picked this later on. Like he just says, hey, we sustain, we shove the lane. Him and Bristle, two best lane shovers in the entire game for me. Like if they exist in that lane, no hero can really outpush them. And Necro, I think, is actually the best, and why we've seen it sometimes against Bristle. Like, it's just what the hero represents, and the only way to stop it is to actually just kill him. Like, that's the only way. And at this point, I don't really see how they're going to do that. They don't have the toolkit, I think, to get it done. They even have the Blink Dagger coming out on Centaur, so there's the fear of the counter initiation. If you commit too many heroes onto one, you have to haunt. So there's like a lot of threats that are dissuading you from committing onto him. Not only is it the fact that he's tanky, it's just looking real grim for the team that doesn't have Grim.
Yeah, Stroke is the only one death on their team as well. It was Solo going down middle. He's like, I'm just split pushing out middle. I'm rich. I don't care. And you do look at the net worth chart, man. This net worth, the graph part, man, is just so rough. And they're goodbye. I love it. The push
that was so
to the
sick.
TP.
That's a long TP too, so they had to plan that ahead of time. It's a 6-second TP when you go to the outposts. And they knew he was coming. He waited patiently. He didn't like alert the Brewmaster. He waited for him to walk up the hill, and easy kill for them there. Well executed.
We do see that Chen does have a creep army finally. He has one of everything. He's got the smorgasbord here. But we'll see what he does with it. That is the question. And Sox tries to block out Noah, but no one's like, you didn't block me out. I'm just going to keep walking. He's at 33. He has no boots, by the way. He's just trying to walk away slowly. He might lose all his creeps. They have to take this fight, or it could very well be over. All of his creeps are going to pass away here. No one's going to fully heal everyone even better. He's a better version of you, Chen. Seb does get the split. We are going to see a buyback, but Dare Shaker, you just used your ulti and will be on cooldown, and they're just tickling no one. He literally feels no pain right now. Back to the 25 sands. There's a spear vessel on the Centaur. Meanwhile, the Spectre, no ulti, just popped in his farming top. Maybe VP should think about getting out here because Spectre's not here.
I don't think they care. Brewmaster split, Echo Slam. It's all on cooldown. Like,
this Necro is you have to be wary of him. He's in 1v4 at this point.
When nobody has items, all that matters is abilities to come back.
He gave enough damage to bring him down. No, they do kill him. They don't get the Reaper's kill, but yeah, they bring him down. That's all you care about. No kill. They are melting down the Necro, but has 21 charges still in all. Rezo blinks, and there's the perfectly timed 3-stroke stun into the Centaur. Is the Suns. He will try to get out of here. Besides, will he go down? It feels like a lot of people might go down, but no one's going down.
That's Necrophos for you.
It really is. And Sox is like, I'm going to get Solo. He can't pick off Solo. In comes Seb. Hey, +1. I don't know if this is the +1 you wanted, Seb. Going to try to cancel Rezo's blink. That'll be up in 3 seconds. And now he's getting run down by the Necro. He does have the Ghost Shroud slow in too. He pops it to slow him down. There's going to be the new puzzle from Solo. Slopes him again. There's the stun. And I hate to say it, this is an absolute beatdown. This is a straight up beatdown.
Why do you hate to say it, Grant?
Because, you know, you do want to see good even Dota games, but sometimes, hey, you just want to see one team play super clean, and if you like that, then you are seeing a perfect game. It feels almost perfect for VP.
Yeah, near flawless. The Spectre securing the late game, so they feel completely comfortable just running up in OG's faces while ILTW farms 60-second cooldown on Haunt.
And that's
has level 1 Haunt. That says a lot about how much participation he feels like he has to have in this
33.
game.
No, they spotted him out. There is no way. We're about to have a 20-1 game. Yep. Do we have an ulti up? No. The Necro won't, you know, cast it on him this time. They're just going to bring him down.
I just think this says so much about how easy the replay here. Like, first and foremost, it's like when Necrophos never dies, his teammates don't die. He's like Dazzle in that regard. He's just healing up everyone around him on a super low cooldown. And like when you're watching this game, you think to yourself, God, like OG's just freaking garbage, that kind of stuff. Like that's what the viewers at home are probably saying in chat. And I just want to remind you guys that this is how they've been drafting this entire league, and they've beaten like everybody. So it really does say more to me about VP than it says about OG.
And a pupil's gift now as well for the Necro. So hey, 13 more strength for you, my friend, and armor.
Yep, why not? Attack speed as well, Grant.
Oh, no, he gives it away. What's he bring? Oh, the Nether Shawl. Ooh.
That's the value, actually. They have so much. They're almost all magical damage on OG. Nether Shawl is the dream item on Necrophos. He has the Blade Mill as well. The Guardian Grease to alleviate the -3 armor problem. The Blade Mill. How do you ever kill this guy?
And they're running down bottom, by the way. He does have the Radiance now on the Spectre. This is a fight that from Seth. Is he able to get up his ultimate? Oh, no, he definitely will not. 60 seconds down. And now Sumail, he's going to get run out. The silence is there. He will kill it off. No Tail's gone down. The Ember trying to juke and jive, but I don't think he's going to make it out of here.
I believe that was 110 ping remnant away there.
It was. Right now, he's here. He did use his ulti, trying to get out again. The TP might be enough. The dagger will miss, and he will survive. Oh, Reza, he's like, well, that's probably the best play you guys have had this game. Unfortunately, we've been running over you. I'll give you one.
It makes me feel better to see someone as mechanically gifted as Sumail make mechanical mistakes because he's on 110 ping. You know,
what was the mistake there?
He had 2 remnants, one that was farther away and one that was right next to him.
Oh, so he went to the wrong one.
He went to the wrong remnant, yeah. He ended up getting away, but he had to expend his third and last remnant to get out.
So now you're only going to have one for this upcoming fight, and that is not pretty because they're just running at you. VP is moving from one side of the map to the other. No ulti from Spectre, they're just in row. The Spectre is.
Ether Lens plus cast range talent on the Shadow Demon. ILTW even took the 15 Desolate damage talent instead of the dagger. I don't think I've seen that in a long time.
That's we're up by 20k.
We do Roach like 30% faster because we have this extra damage. The pure damage does apply from the illusions of Shadow Demon as well as the Spectre on the Roach, so it gets chunked. Remember the good old days when all the illusion heroes were like the worst?
Here we go. There could be a big fight. They are going to throw up the Luco Mirror. That's one way to deal with it. 650 going in. Resolution gets a double. Who is going to get the edge of that? They kill Sides and they're turning around, but no one has killed 33. Let's see what happens. Reza, he can't get set up now. He needs Resolution. He's getting right to his own end. They should be able to get him with the spear vessel. Nice double change by Sumail. And now solo. He's gonna die as well. Oh gee, how the hell do you do it every single time? But see it, he'll get right click down. As you said, no one, the only one still alive. But I would say that's a one fight from OG for sure. A huge one.
Somehow it didn't change the network lead at all, like hardly. Meaning it did. Like, you go from 16 to 12. And you don't exactly have better late game, so they did an amazing job of execution. Out of any team I've ever seen, somehow OG just pulls one fight out of their ass, but they're somehow getting ILTW down before he had any significant contribution to the fight at all. But this Necrophos, man, he's just going to keep getting harder and harder to kill, and you don't have any naturally scaling way of killing him. Like, there's just some heroes in the game that eventually dish out enough damage to threaten a Necro, and they don't have that. They only have the Spirit Vessel, and he already got the Greaves and a Lotus Orb. Oh, God. He's got 27 armor. What's his magic resist because of the Nether Shawl? He's got 47% magic resistance. He's got 1,600 health. Like, all that health is effective because of that 75% heal from his second spell. Amplification, that is.
One of the things that when you do get a jump forward, it will be they're going to throw out the ulti. They're going to clean up house. Now after that fight, they're a little bit angry. There goes No-Tail 33. You're going to be the next one to go to. And hey, there's just an item sitting on the ground. Dragon Scale, I believe, it was actually the Dyers, and they lose it.
Yeah, maybe Chen found it with creeps or something and didn't see it.
Yeah, because I think I saw that get dropped like a minute ago, actually. I believe that was on the ground for a while. I could be wrong, but hey, Radiant will take another one. And Sumail, he's getting run down by ILTW bottom, but there are 3 dire heroes here.
I'm a big fan of this Blade Mill item on Necro. I think it enables the hero a lot, just because you don't even buy it for the active. It's just 6 armor, 38 damage, a little bit of mana pool, and like the active is nice, you know, but that's not why you're buying it. As you see, ILTW is running at them. Together now, he can't get away. It will be the double silence, but no, it won't be because he get it off. Yeah, saves the win. Will he go down? No, Sobson goes down, I believe, just to the dome. Like this is just only on set. No, not the Urge Panda. It goes down. He
seconds down, and I was wondering, when are they going to push the base, or how do they do it? Eventually, you just got to kill people. OG is the best team at delaying games, because they know when to split push, how to pressure the map, but if you bleed out this much, you bleed out this much, you are going to lose your base.
Yeah, that Dragon Scale is actually going to pay some serious dividends
On a Centaur especially,
the 18 damage per second on the tower, as he gets a play mill of it. Working on his own Lotus Orb.
I thought Spectre was dead. Legitimately, I thought Spectre died. It was the Earthshaker who fell over. I'm like, oh my goodness.
The Spirit Vessel was the only thing allowing them to kill anybody, and now they're having the double Lotus Orb, already one coming out on no one, saving Spectre there. It's just, it allows him to then Greaves and Death Pulse the Spectre. He has the extra 40 heal talent from level 15, so it's 160 heal on a 5-second cooldown.
It's pretty good. That adds up.
On Spectre, who has damage reduction, all of her health is effectively 28% more impactful, so all the heals are amped that much more. The sustain, it's just insane. Dealing with these heroes.
Bottom lane. The ice pack ultimate will be enough to save it. It's a perfect ignorant stroke play by Solo. Here we go. They're running for it. No tail. I'm sorry, my friend. You're a dragon. You're dead.
Stole your place.
Damn.
I do like the emoting all chat there.
Yeah.
This is good. OG, I'm sure they can take it as much as they can dish it out.
Definitely.
Can't imagine being the ones like getting tilted by it.
How could you do this to us? Are you serious? Well, you know they're all in good fun here, and they will bring down that last tier. Now they still have a tier 2 top.
Do you think they're having fun right now?
Oh, this game, absolutely not. They're having very little fun, I would say. I would say maybe 3% of fun. Maybe they're having fun because they want to bring down a raid boss. Like, this is a raid now. You're like, if we bring down this Necro, that's the win. But a TP out.
I'd be a bit concerned if they were having fun, you know? Like, if this is fun for you, that may be some masochistic stuff going on here. Zayak is super farming on the Shadow Demon. #1 net worth out of all the supports. I think the main difference is between the 5s, though. Grimstroke almost doubling up the net worth of the Jakiro.
And he has that Philosopher's Stone, which helps out. And yet we do see the neutral items there. And yeah, the Dragon Scale was indeed stolen, as we see there. Feels bad. And that's the problem. You actually brought that up. Like, these heroes that wanna, we saw it in a game earlier where, right, it was a Lycan and his wolves got a kill and he had to run back to get the item and he died because of it. It's kind of funny, like, random stuff like that semi-nerfs a hero, or not even nerfs, it just makes it odd.
I think it made Arc Warden worse. I saw it happen 2 or 3 times to Koikfa during Liquid's
You can't pick up items with that?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, because it goes away, so you shouldn't be able to.
It's very strange. It is pretty insane how it takes playing them. You have to play the hero to really know, but there's just random changes like that make certain heroes way better, and certain things that you could do in the past, like if you used to try to TP away as, say, your Manta Illusions are killing a camp if you're Pill or Naga or something, and now you have to be really careful of that if it's like after the 15-minute mark or right after the 25-minute mark. Yeah. Just because dropping those neutral items, it can be costly. We've seen it. It can sway the momentum of the game. It's like yesterday, the Essence range just randomly getting 40 points to the opponent.
Sumail's he does actually bring it down. Even just eating him alive. Sumail goes down to it. Centaur trying to chase down the panda, the little panda, then he just right-clicking them all down. You can't kill this Shabby. They're just too damn tanky. No, they're just gonna follow that Earth Panda. Slowly but surely, he's gonna try to run away. I don't think that's goodbye, Seth. For the 10 times 0, 10 and 5, a very rough. I mean, it was a rough game for all of OG, but especially Seth. And they're gonna finally push into the base here. What do you go on Necro now? He doesn't even know. 3.6k gold. He's saved it all up.
Just go like harder Shivas. Just some other like make it even harder to kill you item. Hard sounds maybe extreme, but he will literally.
I know, obviously OG is losing, but are you surprised by the Earthshaker build? He was the dude with Guardian Greaves. Mana Boots mech. Very different. Huh. Not sure. Right, obviously it's an OG thing, right?
Blink Echoes, he dies.
Feels like pretty much any item at this point. Trying your best to stay alive. Melee barracks will go down pretty easily.
I'm not saying it's good. I don't think it actually does anything this game. I think that might be the first time I've ever said that. Oh my god.
They just don't really have much to set up. Maybe set up.
From Necro is insane.
So hard. 4.1k gold even bottled up from the Necro. It's not even one.
I should have seen that one coming.
It's Radiant's turn.
Virtus Pro did OG dirty in that game one. About as dirty as Gods just did BSJ in our Catan game. Well done, Gods. Really well done.
First, you give him the fake trade. You give him the fake trade, and then that.
The fake trade was unintentional.
Oh, there's the bomb man himself. We'll get a better look at him later on when he's casting.
He's salty. You're going to hear it in his voice during this entire cast.
He's so salty. This
Man.
moment alone, this one moment was worth all the other games we've played combined, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to be on the other end of the griefing for once.
Dude, the thing is, you genuinely, in that moment, you get so annoyed. Like when Popstar was trying to grief you yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? And that's the question that we ask of OG.
What are you
they
doing, OG? Can you figure out a way to be able to deal with no one the rest of Virtus Pro?
And Spicy.
Another Techies pickup for Virtus Pro.
They did this last time. This exact combo.
Mars Techies.
Yeah, it was Mars. But OG doubled down,
yeah, it was the
banning
game
the
after.
offlaners. They added the Pengo in there this time, so they're going to force Rezo onto a different hero, the Axe. But he's played the Axes tournament and done very well. So
Yes, it was the game after that he played the Axe, the one where they didn't kill the Dazzle when they were supposed to. I thought they had Techies in that game, but was it the game before?
It was the game before, because they had the Mars Techies combo, which I think is the best of all the combos.
That was against Cyber Legacy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Zayats, I think, plays a really good Techies, though. Very aggressive player.
Yeah. And he's got a pretty decent combination with the Axe, and they took away one of the best protectors of the egg away from OG. Let's not forget, Techies, oh, never mind. It's attack damage talent that he has at 25, right?
yeah.
For some reason I was thinking attack speed. The counter to the egg. Techie
250.
from long range.
That's CM. CM gets the
that's what it
200
is,
attack
yeah,
speed or something at level 20, I think, even.
All right, well, they go back for the Chen. Chen, hopefully it's a better game for the Chen. It is a nice hero against Techies, but...
Yeah, I'd almost like to prefer to see a 5-position Chen this game. Just get the Hedras, secure your safe lane. You know this Techies is going to be spamming Blast Off and just harassing you over and over again. And I think a Hedras Chen, not a bad approach to that lane. Get some core that has some sustain and just try out-farm them in lane, maybe.
Battle Hunger spamming and such. You're gonna need some regen for sure.
Some kind of...
You good, Blitz?
Yeah.
I could still hear Brian talking about it. I could just hear Brian still
I could barely hear some profanity. The mold.
He's so
Much mauled.
Grant, say it, dude.
Say the line.
Say the line.
All right, our second ban phase. VP. What do they need to make sure OG doesn't have here? What's left in the off lane for these
OG?
boys? Tidehunter?
I think 7, but I mean, we've seen him play a lot of heroes. The Tidehunter, the Brewmaster last game.
It's a pretty good lone druid game too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'd be down for that.
That's if they're willing to run Chen as a 5. Which I'm sure Noto can play.
And then they can run, I wouldn't mind seeing the lone druid like up against the axe or something. You'd have an option at least to flex in mid or other side lanes. Grimstroke.
They love this hero.
Yeah, and they've got so many pairs to run with it.
Yep.
I think Ricky's really good. He's really good against Phoenix. You could also run, let's see, you could do Wraith King.
Yeah, I think you have even just Axe alone to me is enough. Like once you get that Blink Call with an Inkswell follow-up, like you can just pick whatever carry you think's best for the game.
Jug is pretty good too.
Yep. Yeah, Jug versus the Phoenix sounds definitely nice. No, there's a Monkey King though. One hero that you have to consider how you want to address.
I don't be able to deal with the axe okay, but I wonder if axe techies might be too much for a Monkey King. Guess we'll have to see.
It's a lot of burst damage.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. I could just as easily see that lane being opened by the axe techies and then Monkey King being too afraid to ever get those Jingu stacks up.
So the cool part now is like OG have first pick. So you're starting to really see like why first pick matters so much, because you're gonna at least see what the heroes that you're gonna be against are before you reveal that the Chen was a flex, or if it's just simply gonna be like your mid/off lane Chen. So they take Troll.
It feels like this fourth pick for whoever is second pick is always just some stable core that doesn't get hard counted too much by anything. Or
Yeah.
it's like you just pick whatever the stable laning core is here, whether it's your mid or your carry. It's like where you often see the Kunkka picks come out for the mid lane, because it's like, well, it's a Kunkka mid, does okay versus most things. Troll carry does okay versus most things. It's just a good laner.
5 seconds.
So you see your safe lane and off lane matchups right now. So you can see a setup like, okay, I'll be +1 against like Troll Grimstroke. So they take Batrider, which I think is a really good pick against Troll Warlord. It's probably one of the best lane counters in the game, and their last hero cannot address it. Like, no matter what, you can't really counterpick for this anymore because you don't have the slot of being able to like flex an axe mid or something like that and pick like offlane a Baden or something like that.
10 seconds.
Do you think there's a chance we do see the troll as the flexo could go mid? Obviously, it doesn't help you maybe countering the bat because you are locked into your offlaner, but do you see potential for VP to use this 10th pick either for the mid or the safe lane, or is it just going to be a safe lane troll?
I think it's probably going to be a safe lane troll. What I'd like to see OG pick actually is like Lone Druid or something like that. I think it's pretty good against techies because he has something that can clear the mines before you die and stuff like that. He's really tanky, and I think the Savage Roar is actually really nice against Axe. Like, he just blinks in, you get your bear to come Savage Roar him. Your ulti is really good against all these heroes that don't necessarily burst you immediately.
10 seconds.
It's a 33 hero too. I don't know if they'll pick Lone Druid, but
Yeah, I mean, as far as these OG heroes go, it's even now you don't quite know who's playing what. We've seen, obviously, 33 typically play the Chen, but No-Tail can also play it. The Bat Rider could be a core, can also be a No-Tail hero. Phoenix, we've seen 33 play mid once, but it can also be a support. So 3 of these heroes flex between core and support. Monkey, definitely a core, also flexes between safe lane and mid. A lot of question marks.
pretty good Beastmaster game too. I just want one of these heroes that has like Necrobook or this bear that just runs in and tanks mines and doesn't really care too much about matchups. Like, I think all of these options are pretty good for them.
Dyer's pick now.
Ban the Invoker, so no one's played a lot of that Quaswex Invoker, and there's the Bear Will. You
Dude, I was
wanted it.
calling it pick 2.
Here we go.
I knew it was going to come eventually. I think it has way too much value against techies. Like, if I saw techies and I have Quickfa, snap, like, I'm picking Lone Druid 100%. It's done deal. What? Leaked? Oh, leaked. I see,
Leaking your strats, yeah. And 33, that is one of his heroes that he plays, but I could also maybe see Seb picking it up too, depending where they want to end up running it.
So what are our lanes going to be for OG? Do you want that Lone Druid? I guess it depends on the mid matchup if Monkey King can go there, right?
That sounds about right. I don't think the laning stage against techies is as much about the landmines. He's almost always going blast off level 1, and it's much more about how you utilize that spell rather than the mines themselves. Often the mines just end up feeding gold if you use them in lane too much.
Yeah.
So I think you're just waiting to see the mid matchup. If it's a bad Monkey King matchup, you send Lone Druid. If Monkey King gets good mid matchup, you can send him.
I think it's a pretty good Ember game. Maybe you're afraid of the root and stuff like that, but I think you need something like Invoker that just like goes in and initiates fights for you. I think you need a second way of starting these engagements. They take Quap. I guess that was another hero I could see too, but I don't think Quap is actually that good against Lone Druid or Monkey or Bat, actually. I think he doesn't pump up enough damage in this game because of the Chen heal, and the Bat Rider Sticky Napalm is still really annoying. All these like blink based heroes where you want to like turn and blink or anything like that, it's really annoying for when you play against Bat Rider. And I think Lone Druid, you never kill him and he has kill potential on you at all times with Root Savage Roar combo.
So is that enough for you to be siding with OG? You said the draft could solve many problems, but did it solve enough problems? This is still an OG that has stand-ins. Can they take down Virtus Pro?
Yes.
Much more even draft, I think, but I'm still leaning towards VP personally.
Okay. And it makes sense going with Virtus Pro at this point in time. They've been looking better and better as they make their way through the group stage, and we're going to see them here in a second game against OG. We're going to have the opportunity to join Grant and BSJ for that game too. Grant, say the line.
I will not cap, but thank you for asking. I'm joined here by BSJ, and BSJ, we got a Techies first phase, and then, you know, we've got a lone druid. We've still got OG running that Chen. It should be a pretty exciting one. You see the odds dead even, 1.87 on each side. That's pretty even. Would you agree with that, or do you think this draft is one-sided one way?
I honestly think OG has the way better draft. This game. They have
How much?
absolutely no
70-30?
Yeah, 70-30 approximately. I think they have absolutely no way to deal with Batrider. As far as I know, I don't think Queen of Pain really beats Lone Druid in the lane. And I've waned Troll against Bat, so unless I'm missing something or they know something I don't in terms of maybe they're going to rotate the Techies at some point with that blast off to finish off a dive, maybe when Batrider's being a bit over aggressive. That lane's pretty miserable for Troll. I said going into the series I was concerned that the games were going to be good strategic-wise, but they were just going to be one-sided stomps, and that happened in the first game, and I think that's going to happen in the second game, but the other way. Okay. So I am looking forward to being proven wrong, if so, because it will require VP to really out-navigate OG in terms of their laning, like avoiding the Batrider until they have the items to get rid of that sticky napalm, maybe smoking up and getting the initiation on this lone druid, because fighting through that bear seems pretty difficult for this VP lineup in the early to mid game.
Yeah, and we talked about 33, you know, one of the few heroes we've seen him play mid on other teams is his lone druid, so he has experience in the mid lane because of that, and we were worried, like, hey, he's an offlaner, but he has played middle a lot. Even in Optic, he played it with the lone druid, so should have that experience. This Techies Axe, I mean, what kind of lane is this going to be straight up? Is it just going to be super annoying for the safe laner, or...?
I have to imagine so. You should be able to regen through it pretty decently on Monkey King, but I think you just go for the Battle Hunger on Axe. You go for the best trade you can. You probably get an early blast off from Zayak right here. As you see, he's queuing it up. Two-man blast off. He's going to back off. Yep, get himself below half and then do it again. Kill yourself and run it back. 35-second cooldown, not all that bad. Has the headdress, he's right-clicking. This was my concern for Sumail, is he's just going to get hit a lot. Only one base armor, two with the stat items that he has. They did get the D-ward as well from Zayak, so it's really important he did that because they can't see him initiating that blast off.
Dude, why does Techies have 7 armor? I never knew that.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
No,
Techies' base stats have always been pretty good other than the damage. His movement speed used to be trash, but now they buffed him up to 310 flat, so he's a pretty speedy guy. As he jumps in, has to Fairy Fire. I guess that's why he went for the double Fairy Fire build, and they actually can't punish this, so Zayak really pushing his hero to the limit here. I can only imagine how annoying this would be if I was playing carry. But looks like Sumail is going to have the lane pushed into him. Already has 4 CS. Actually out farming Redzo. But I guess the Techies has actually stolen 5 of that CS.
Yeah.
So it's a bit deceiving there.
Blast off getting a ton. Middle lane pretty even. 8-1 versus 7-1. No one really running ahead with denies or last hits. Savage Order secure himself that range creep. You know, he misses the hill. Plus his bear's getting really low. Is he going to go down here? He resummons at the last second.
You can't resummon when it's taking damage, can you? Did he resummon that like right before the stream?
I'm not sure. I didn't see the plus gold, so he definitely got the resummon, but he must have then.
I almost had to watch that back. I thought that was the mechanic.
Thought so as well. So he must have done a nice play. Man, that would have been a lot of gold. That would have just like changed the lane. Bottom lane sucks.
Wait a minute, I just realized something.
What?
I'm gonna watch this back later, but I'm pretty, so what happens is when you level up the bear, it refreshes the bear.
Oh,
so I'm pretty sure he screamed it, then he leveled up and summoned a new bear between the instances of damage.
We got some, that's pretty sick play, that's what happened, but I believe you're right, because he did get to level 3 and did that. So.
Yeah, and I think really good Lone Druid players would make use of that. I've never seen it before, though.
That's sick.
That's a highlight for me. I've learned like 4 or 5 really cool mechanics. What was the other? We learned that Oracle ult doesn't allow you to life steal. And there was one more that we learned. I couldn't remember what it was. I was thinking about this the other day. If it comes to your mind, Grant, feel free to share with me, as we already have 3 CS leaders on the side of OG to start the game.
Yeah, a lot better, as you said, than the last game. Just securing these lanes. Not having a Chen middle definitely helps out quite a bit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't flame the 33 Chen, bro.
I will not. If it's in the safe lane or the off lane. Well, Solo and Sox are just trading farm down bottom, and we're cutting creep wave. Seb's cutting bottom, Rezo's cutting top.
Techies actually mined the creep wave and the creep camp to make Resolution not have to take as much damage to kill them, so that's cool.
That's nice, and they will be taking that outpost bottom. Yeah, ILTW will get some creeps on attack. Troll doesn't mind this, right? I'm actually surprised. I thought you want to pressure him in lane, not let him farm.
My idea of Troll right now is Batrider actually needs levels to apply a significant amount of pressure with that sticky napalm, so you're going to trade with him, and then once you both get like level 6, 7, you wreck him. So that's what he's doing on Seb. He's actually farming a stacked big camp as well as a double wave. Oof. So even if he doesn't get all the CS because the creep camp may take 1 or 2, that's so much XP for him.
And oh, there's going to be a suicide in middle, and guess what? That's one way to do it. It works out. He's already helped his axe farm. He just helps his middle. Redzone's in a lot of trouble now, though, in the jungle. He might just go down to a couple more right clicks, trying to run away. Has the bracer. He does have a healing salve as well. Seth gets the courier off.
Seth is level 5, just in case anyone was wondering. He's already a full level ahead of Troll, and he's not even pressuring. That's what Batrider does best. They can't really mess with him this game because of how powerful Sticky Napalm is. I'm going to be looking for no one to be rotating on him early to mid game with that ultimate at level 6, as he does bring down Phoenix as well mid. So it looks like mid suddenly turned into a bit of a liability for OG here.
Yeah, as Queen of Pain actually takes the net worth lead after getting that kill.
Seb is living the dream.
Oh,
stop it!
Oh, he thought
what if he just stopped it?
Dude, if he didn't got the kill, that would have been worth it. That's a Quelling Blade, Rapin, and a magic wand. That is a lot of gold on that courier. That would have been pretty funny, but he doesn't, so Troll will get his items. But as you said, this Batrider should be able to create a ton of pressure, and oh, Soxa goes for the cheeky play, the dive of stealing the bounty run, but doesn't get it.
So when you're going to cut creeps like this in the offlane, the counterplay that's optimal for the carry is to pull their own creep wave into the big camp and farm both together. And what happened was OG actually blocked the big camp, and then they had to deward it on the side of VP. So this is really cool stuff. Both teams really
they're going to deward the deward.
Yeah. So the both teams are very aware of what both teams are supposed to be doing here.
But he didn't reblock the big pull, I guess. So kind of a, I thought he would
It'd be really obvious, I think. So he wanted to make sure they have vision if they're doing the camp, because at this point, Batrider can actually kill Troll and start farming this area because of how many levels he has. Almost level 6 already at the 5.5 minute mark.
He's solo. Try to steal 6 but you said it. No one needs to come and gank. There's going to be a slow opening. Goes around the tree. The stun won't actually end up going out on him. He's going to try to just go in circles, but he will go down.
Really big kill.
Yeah, nice gank there by Nolan. Almost has those treads. He has the bottle, the null. He's feeling pretty good about himself, but Sumail right up there with him on the net worth, top lane. He's started free farming the axe. Can't do too much because, as you said, you're always going to have that life steal. You're getting those 4 attacks.
I think Pain really important to do this against Batrider in the early to mid game, because once he gets Blink, it's annoying to play co-op against Batrider, but Batrider has to walk in. You almost always get the dagger on him. Blinking and bursting down the Batrider is certainly a threat, because Batrider really does capitalize on his mobility to evade that damage. And Queen of Pain, she's looking. Sumail, maybe in some trouble as Axe walks over and cancels the leap away.
Nice play, and he knew he was there because the outpost does show Invis units. He's trying to run. Does he have another screen? He does, but his arm's up. He's going to throw out the ulti. I'm not sure if that's enough. He tries to dodge it. He can't.
The blast off snipe
be enough. No, he's going to survive.
Not even close.
But he does.
They only level 1 dagger. Nice attempt, but to no avail. While he's been rotating, 33 is now ahead of him in terms of levels.
Yeah, and he has the command. It's on his bear. Nothing on him, but on his bear. His bear's pretty yoked. Yeah, and he's going to go for this tower. Do you almost just kill it straight up?
Coming in hot.
Going for that bottom kill solo.
Didn't mean that, though.
You're just dead.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to use the lasso.
Yeah, nice discipline not holding onto the lasso there. It's probably even worth not doing it just because of how good lasso is against Troll as well as Axe. It's going to be a free kill whenever he manages to catch one of them. Going for the early boots of travel, so that map presence from Batrider is going to be pretty scary in a few minutes here.
And we see Sumail going after Zayats. Will he be able to make it away? Yeah. Don't want to commit over there. They don't really have too much vision.
Tipping Soxa for suiciding.
We are middle there. It's about to be a fight. But yeah, that one drew. Whoa, no one actually blinks and aggressively. Sumail, once again, it is only the level 1 dagger, so he's staying alive. Suicide will fly in. The bear is south. Oh, there's a central there. He's not the mathematics. Will he get permanently rooted? He's throwing another dagger. No one still alive. I don't know how. He will get his blink off barely. They get the techies, and they get the plus 25 gold from that mine. I can't believe that Quap survived it.
They're still up by 1K though on BP. It doesn't feel like they are, but they are.
It really doesn't. And where's that all coming from? Is it? I mean, the troll is the top. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not been punished.
Yeah, he gave him free farm on Batrider in exchange for his own game. Usually, Batrider wants to prioritize his own momentum rather than pressuring the opponent unless he can't cut creeps. vibes.
And he pre-ink swells himself, runs forward to get a little bit extra stun. I love that. No Tail summoned him in, but Solo, I believe, saw him actually cast animation with their ward there.
You could hear
and
it,
ran
too.
away, yeah. So well played by Solo, just getting out. And as you said, gold lead for VP, but a much closer game than last game. This isn't a 12-0 game right now.
I'm just keeping an eye out on Seb. He really is the carry for OG this game in the sense that his hero is going to have significant impact. I'm getting the Monkeys Forever 10th pick Batrider vibes here, where you can just lasso whoever you want off cooldown.
And
they have no way to purge your sticky. They have no way to purge the lasso. If there's ever like an Oracle or an Abaddon, you have to have that in the back of your mind that maybe they're behind their teammates, and you have to hesitate a bit, but you can just blink ult anybody you want, and he's going to have super early boots of travel pre-10 minutes from these two camps as he has an arcane rune farming him up. Pretty damn great game for Batrider here. Also has the keen optic. Other than the Faded Brooch, is the best tier 1 item for Batrider in my opinion.
Just cast range and mana.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Is he going to get the Faded Brooch?
We are watching as Alliance kind of playing in all three lanes. Sumail just hiding in the trees. Techie just pushing it out with mines. It feels like Monkey and Tegs are just trading farm bottom with No Tail threatening it kill. Middle lane, Bear's fine, and top lane just seems both teams are okay farming all three lanes at this point. But there's going to be the TP in from Batrider now. They know where the tech is. He's trying not to give it away. Seb has already TP'd in. Whoa, finds the troll. He pops his ulti. Wow, he really wants to hit that net, Sumail. He's going to hold it. I'm not really sure about that one. He just... What?
Level 3 net. He's like, I'm going to get it, but then he only hit him twice.
Yeah, I would just say a big misplay there from LTW. Now the rest going to try to run. But the lane does get pushed out by this Techie's mine.
Not exactly a misplay that you can take back.
Yeah, that was...
What you do? You're in.
No one gonna try to push in this middle tower. Obviously, Lone Druid has already taken his, so he's gonna try to push theirs as well. And it is almost half HP, but right again, Bear comes back, says, nope, we're defending. And so what do you do on this game? On either side of things, is OG, who's okay with this pace of game right now, with kind of everyone farming right now?
I think everyone's farming. You get Lone Druid's Deso for Roche. You can do it where your hero's tanking the Roche and your Bear's regenning you up fast enough with the Deso. So they're going to probably look to force that. And you can just keep lassoing people off cooldown. I think that's really their game plan. So I'll be keeping an eye out for the Roche with the Lone Druid. And just keep an eye out on Seb's cooldown of his lasso. That's really going to be their go time. He is, instead of queuing up the blink, going for a pipe. I don't know how I feel about that. I think like Batrider mobility this game could just be really nice, but we've seen him go for a little bit of wonky builds that worked out really well the other day. So I'm not going to question two-time TI winner fluking Seb.
Bottom lane, some TP's in. Looks like Rezo just wants to defend. No one here as well. There's a lot of heroes in this bottom lane. 33, by the way, is level 10. The Quap only 8.
He's been forced to rotate a lot on Queen of Pain. You can't really sustain trade with the Lone Druid either. Like, heads up, if you're both trying to hit creeps, you're just going to get bullied away. Already losing the mid tower as well, so he just had to rotate around on no one. And you're seeing it in his net worth. Not as much as his levels, because his net worth is keeping up just fine.
Yeah, it is. And once again, he realizes, okay, I got to try to make something happen. Then he pushes this middle tower with the double damage. All right. You got to watch out, though. Seb he's behind, and he has look at that movement speed. The wind lace, the boots of travel, obviously. Firefly giving you even more, but
and no Fate Brooch. Always feels Batman on the Batrider.
So this
do they have all their items?
Close to the blink now. Looks like it.
Yeah, they got them all, so he's not getting it.
Seb will just get shadow struck, and then they run away. It wasn't even Seb who got it, actually. It was the crate. And a lot of pressure being put in this middle lane right now by OG. Almost all of them around there. 33 just farming the jungle bottom.
This could be a pretty nice timing for VP to just basically fight their way back onto the map. It's not necessarily a team fight heavy game for either squad. Much more about skirmishes, pick off, burst, and occasional objective pushing, but Troll doesn't feel comfortable hitting towers because he's against Batrider with no save, and Lone Druid. Same thing about against the Axe plus Techies and everything. There is a lot of damage to bring him down, but if his whole team's around with the egg behind, Lone Druid goes really nice with Phoenix because of that egg.
Oh my God! Sumail is gonna be brought down partly. He misses the dunk on Rezo, and this egg is definitely gonna be going up. Goodbye, Rezo. Sumail does die. Science goes down as well. looked like a good jump from the Axe, but unfortunately, level 1 dunk doesn't hit the threshold, and, well, they turn it around, and this will be an easy tower. Just like that. The action's going to be quick, it feels like. It's going to happen. People are going to live. People are going to die. Quick.
Maelstrom on ILTW. Basically the poor man's version of a Battle Fury. It's just because he thinks he's going to need to participate super early on in this game. Needs that BKB ASAP. And I don't disagree with him here.
You watch him stack his own camps here.
Oh, no, you got it. Okay. He didn't stack the one, but he's good. Iron Talon will speed up his farm a lot. And it looks like he's considering SNY later. Even if you have a BKB, you're still going to get lassoed. So you still want that status resistance on that one.
To hold it down. Middle lane looks like Rezo, Techies, and Grimstroke all kind of playing together. Obviously, you have the Ink Swell, Blink, Jump. You have the Suicide on the call. You do a lot of damage, and they're going to go for it. There's Sumel. He will get caught with the Ink Swell. And the rest of his team's coming up through. Is the healing up? It is. You have a Chen as well as a Phoenix, and now Rezo's like, oh my goodness, I can run. There's going to be the Boundless Strike, the slow. Rezo still running. Please save me, says, but no, the bear runs him down.
Running away from Lone Druid is pretty tough. It's a feeble task, honestly.
And they've done a good job of protecting this middle tower that has gone down pretty low. And OG,
Here's
they've
the Roche
moved up.
potentially.
Do they got the death up? They do. Going MKB next on the bear. Finally, someone's like, you know what? We don't need the True Strike from Rapier. We'll just, get the MKB.
Rapier might be a bit extreme.
On a bear?
Yeah, you definitely need the MKB against the Troll Whirling Axis. It's the only thing really stopping your bear from just dishing out all the damage at once.
Do you try to stop this, or do you just farm all 3 lanes?
How do you fight it? You can't kill Batrider, and you can't purge his lasso. I think if they choose to fight it, they're going to pay the price, but they are looking to potentially contest.
They know what's happening. Down to about 5. Suicide gets him out. He has the buyback. Roche is still alive. They're trying to survive. Zayt gets the kill on Sox and no buyback. Do they go to the Roche? Zayt will end up seeing Roshan is super low. He's going to die on the Techies. The bear still doing work at Sumel. He wants to throw down his ulti. Maybe just fight. Now they're getting the Roshan, it seems. Maybe not. ILTW back in. Sumel throws out his ulti. Do you just disengage? You do. And this should be. I want to say the Roshan, but Dagger up at 5. They should kill before then. 33's trying. Oh my goodness. They will all commit in and get the ages. I'm not saying anything yet. They do.
I don't mind the way they contested. That was super smart by them. He was trying to scout out the possible blink from access. We may have more action, no. But VP actually wrapped all the way around and came from the separate angle. So I think Roji felt very comfortable that there was no action blinking into that pit. But instead, Sumel is forced to buy back. So even though it seemed like a very difficult contest, they took a really smart angle. Surprised me, surprised OG, I think, too.
Oh, definitely.
And at the end, they gave them the Roche, but it was not free. And I think that was really important, all things considered.
And it's kind of, you do give the Aegis to Sumel, but I'm looking at his items, and, well, he's going for the Radiance. But we see the fight here, and I mean, this is the combo I think God's talked about. Sometimes you don't need cores to help, because you just have an Axe blink in, easy Ink Swell, Egg. Unfortunately, level 1 Egg, you're not surviving there, ever. Techies with the stasis, holding everyone in place as well. Once you hit the higher levels of those Techies, Mines, and Wards, Roche pits are a lot scarier. Top lane.
A bit of a...
The Queen of Pain is here, though, so you gotta be careful if you're Seb. And Sox actually pings it out. He's like, yeah, don't go in.
Bottom outpost taken by OG.
So do you like this Radiance, sorry, to go back to it on the Monkey King?
I think it's a nice item on Monkey King.
First item, though?
I think you're either going to do it first item or never. It's an item that you're expecting one of your teammates to be the one that runs in first, and then you're just your ultimate. And on the map, you're also allowed to take super passive farm. And I don't think really any item makes him more survivable if you really think about it. Like Echo Saber maybe his ult's better, so he could have gone for that route.
Define Seb, but now they're going to have to run away. Essence Ring is going to get pumped. Soxa, though.
Define Seb.
He found him.
Yeah,
I don't think he wanted to, but he found him.
That's a Batrider with Hood. I like that he's not finishing the pipe, though. The Hood makes him super tanky to all the crap that VP has. He can kind of just run in for his team, almost synergizing with that Radiance coming out from the Monkey King. And now, once he gets the blink, he can also blink in without feeling like he's just going to die. I think he didn't go blink first because he was concerned that he might just get bursted down after lassoing somebody and not even move anyway.
We're watching poking and prodding at this bottom lane. You see VP, they're trying to poke at this bear. Well, the bear will get his first hits on this tower with the dragon scale, so extra damage being done.
The Trolls can't fight until BKB, so they are trying to force the issue as much as possible. He's still a recipe away from that, and that dragon scale is incredible value, as you said. That is, he even went for the casual glove haste on the bear.
Yep.
What else has he got? Oh, he's got 2,000 gold. Okay, I was like, when you click the bear, it doesn't originally tell you how much gold he has. I like the MKB also against Axe, because when it gets called on the bear, obviously Axe has a ton of armor, and the MKB's 75 magic damage on average per hit, which is very nice. Might be killing the damage mines, chooses not to.
We have an ulti top lane. It will be a kill. That is 501 gold.
That's
I'm surprised they didn't
kill.
give it to the troll, but yeah, it is still a big kill. Rezo gets it. What's he going for? He's going for a pipe of his own.
He might have to buy back and bootstrap the bear.
Get brought down. He's going to get healed. That's going to be the agent. Seth is fight back, and this is OG. They won't fight back, but no, 33 will jump up. No one will. He jump. No, he just blinks away. A lot of armor on this OG team, but the troll might be able to bring down before the egg comes up. He does. Egg will burst, and he's just going to fly away after maybe Centaur stop one, stop two, bye.
That was
a great fight for VP.
Yeah, they're just picking and choosing their skirmishes really well. The only reason I think it's hard to fight OG right now is the Batrider, and he was dead. They picked him off. They had the potential. I love how Rezo is playing around his troll. That's the best thing about all that's going on right now. Is Soxa has no dive.
This should be. They don't have the most damage, obviously, if you're not like spinning, but they should have enough slow damage over time. Still at the battle on Tuesday. Gets the call. No spins. There's the battle hunger though. He has a dive until he's going off the map. Is he gonna make it? No way. He's gone.
That's cool.
Goodbye. Well played there by Soxa. The old flop up the map.
I think he could have dunked him, but he didn't have it. So he hit the threshold, but it was on cooldown because I guess he missed one of the fight.
And there's the clumsy net going to get thrown out. Rezo, he's in trouble if he gets rooted up. It should be eventually, right? Any roots?
This is why I stopped playing Road Druid way back when.
WTB roots. He's actually just not getting one. The RNG God's not there. It is. Will it be the kill? He gets the armor off. Can he juke and drive him in these trees? He's looking. He has the blink dagger up, but he's taking damage. Oh, he gets the blink off. Goodbye. So Rezo gets juked out of his boots by Soxa, and then Rezo does it right back to 33. The top lane, that forest.
Did he really, though? It's kind of like he could have just not taken 9 hits to root him.
True as well, but he did make it away.
Yeah, it wasn't.
RNG's part of the game, Brian. You know that more than
True.
most.
Oh, God damn it.
Uh-oh, there's going to be full control. Ulti has BKB. He will pop his ulti up. Is his team coming? They do. He has BKB. Is going in. Surprisingly, no payload. Alpha will get the kill. It gets brought down, but they kill everyone else. ILTW with the bait.
Sumail's Boundless Strike was on cooldown from, I guess, farming. It was 10-second cooldown when they lassoed him, so if they had had that, he would have never gotten his ulti off, but because of that, suddenly paying the price 3 for 1, I think ILTW could have popped his BKB when he ulted, but he chose not to, so he did get down really low, and Alpha Wolf finishes him off, as we said.
Yeah. But I think they'll take that.
He's doing HC off 33. I don't know about this anymore. The Bear, I don't know if it's going to be able to do what it wants to do in this game.
Which
With the hit people, the Whirling Axes. The Whirling Axes is just a nuisance. The nice thing about MKB is the proc pierces BKB, the damage. So you do still dish out a pretty good amount of damage versus it. As Zayak is setting up his camp here in the trees. Does Yule's the Mask of Madness off, so he won't be moving nearly as fast to catch up to him.
And we see this Techie's being so annoying. He's been able to OG, right? It feels like their playstyle, they love pushing in all 3 lanes. This Techie's done a good job of, like, he's been pushing 2 lanes by himself, Q Mountain. It feels like OG, I never really see him stuck on their side of the map. In this game, they are. They are trying to move on down, connect up with Sumail here. Still no Radiance, so you've got this Relic, but honestly, until you get that Radiance, it feels like it's still kind of empty net worth. Sure, the damage is good, but...
Yeah, he's, like, effectively 2,000, 3,000.
There's a fight going on here. There is a... Is he going to jump immediately on when he jumps down? No one. He will get lasted by Seb. Patience from Seb. Patience from no one. Oh my goodness. Both teams know what's going on, it seems.
Look at the rest of the map. There's just 2 waves not being farmed.
It is, and they are being pushed in on Radiant's favor, so Dire may be forced to do something earlier. Now he saw the bear. I'm pretty sure the bear's trying to hide, but he saw him. Yeah. They just run away.
Both teams are hesitant. There's a lot of counter initiation, a lot of damage on both sides, so one misstep from heroes like Axe and Batrider, when you blink in, you're just going to die, and your team's going to lose the fight because of it, as no one blinks aggressively to the high ground with that DD Orchid. Super for Batrider at this stage, going for a potential halberd, but that doesn't remove the Orchid, just makes it last less time. So if he gets Orchid at the start of the fight, it's going to be very difficult for OG to initiate. And although I favor their draft going in, I think for OG, I think VP has navigated the weaknesses of their draft very well. They just can't really fight this Batrider. They've kind of had to just feed him some kills here and there, but no one slowed down his momentum with that early movement. The Trolls didn't just staying off the map, went for the cheap man's Battle Fury into the BKB as immediately as possible so that he could fight. Really liking what VP done here. I think the game is only going to get easier for them as it goes super late, but this Monkey King Radiance is going to be coming out soon. Does Axe have the pipe? He almost has it, so they'll be able to tank through the first 7 or 8 seconds of that Radiance burn.
Top lane, it seems to be where the movements, both teams have headed up that way. Seth hiding. Look at the last ball.
He's gonna die too.
A ton of damage. Sucks to go down the other side. LTW just gets pulled away, but he runs and he's like, hey, you got me, I guess. We got your teammate. And no one, I don't know if you can fight into him right now. He is doing so good. He has level 3 ulti as well. Pure damage, just straight up in your face. You have to be very wary of dropping that low because you have an Axe and that ulti from Quap. So much damage.
Yeah, they know they have no lasso, so with Yules, they're just not going to kill you fast enough. The only way they can kill him is like perma-rooting him because the Boundless Strike's just not long enough. And he has a dragon skill of his own, super value off 18 damage per second. That's a lot.
Who's getting it? Who's getting it? It'll be no one, of course.
How did nobody get it?
I don't know. That's a question.
It's all metaphysics and such, Grant.
And whatnot, yeah. Uh-oh, no tail. He has Tranquil Boots, so at least he does have boots. So the 3-3. They run away. No tail will be on the he's getting healed. You're just dead instantaneously. Oh my goodness, 33. He does have the Radiance, so it is going out. Rezo should go down, possibly the Radiance. No, Essence ring at the last second. And no one just jumps in and kills No Tail. Any Orchids? No Tail's I don't know. He has been a beast game 1 and 2. He's been a beast this whole tournament, honestly. No one is back in prime form, it feels like.
Oh, for sure. And I just love the way he was playing when they had no lasso. He was just cutting creeps, and it really set up this aggressive tier 2 tower push, which then led to this movement, and Rezo capitalizing on it really well. ILTW committing really hard in fights where he can, because the bear is the only way to stop him, and that Whirling Axe mischance, that's, you're not getting roots. So what's the odds of a root? Like 20%? I have to see when the bear respawns. But if you're missing 60% of your attacks, suddenly you're only rooting 8% of the time, Grant, and that's...
I even know numbers, and that's low.
Yeah, let's just confirm. Is it 20%? Yeah, I don't... 20%, yeah. So 8% of attacks if you're Whirling Axe are gonna root. So very, very slim chance that he ever gets peeled off with that root. And that fear doesn't go through BKB, as he has the MKB finally queued up. Once again for 33. Stopped back for the Hyperstone considering the AC, but I think he's realized very quickly that his bear is not hitting anyone, and thus he is pretty useless.
Begins some items. Paladin Sword for the Dire. Repair kit, honestly, I think at this point VP's like, you never hate a repair kit, but you probably wanted something more aggressive.
Telescope's quite nice for Batrider.
Oh, God, quickening charm techies. Jesus, that has to be the most annoying thing.
He almost has Ags.
Yeah, very
farmed.
As we said, he's been cutting creep waves top and middle. He's been cutting creep waves everywhere. Oh, there's going to be a last on you. Will be the X. He is so damn tanky. You still don't have that Monkey King up to fight it. Another gem on Sumail, so you have to be careful about that. They want to play together. 7 getting a jump on. He saw on the backside. There's 2 put together. No one will definitely be able to bring down No Tail and get the dunk up on Seth. They're just running at him. Seth, there's going to be the egg. It gets thrown down. Solo might die. He does. Will he get it? Yeah. Zion. Yes, and the lag for Techies. And there's going to be the Orchids up. See you later, Wolfram. It is
tree.
Suicide and get him. Do it, Zayak, do it. Wow, I can't believe Sumail lived there. That was a man fight of all man fights. With the Phoenix behind him, the Jingu Mastery lifesteal has the Jingu Mastery damage talent. Roche is up though. They have a Roche on this, or the ward on this Roche. Vampire Fang's paying mad dividends for ILTW here. Never able to do that without a form of lifesteal here. Saw Yasha amping that by 30%. So Vampire Fang's 30% of 15 makes an extra 3% or so. That's not bad.
I would say so. Not too shabby at all. Going for the Satan next week. See, this is game control. What, 70% stats resistance? It's pretty damn good, especially if you don't have a save. They don't have a save on your team, so you are your save.
And meanwhile, No Tail died. Oh, and that is an extra 5% for all the people in chat that are probably correcting me because they're better to do their lives. And we have Blade Mail coming out from Resolution. That's even more potent against the no BKB lineup so far on this ILG.
Gonna take some damage. Dragon Skin will proc on it. And are they gonna get this tier 3?
Yeah,
Sure looks like it. Oh, and there's the sign. The sign is down. The Aghanim protection is out. Guess what? You know there's mines there, but what are you gonna do about it?
Sick. I've never seen it used offensively because whenever I have techies in my games, they're just sitting in base hoping for the game to end. At least the other 9 people are.
God, what do you do against this?
Well, you can't commit on to Troll if he's in that circle.
Oh, God. The meta. I didn't want it to change like this, BSJ, please.
Well, the sign duration's only 3 minutes, so they just have to wait it out.
Okay. And they're doing it. Zed actually working around. LTW is going for the bear. Orbit Destruction gets down by the Troll. Did he pick it up or did they get it?
No, he got it.
Okay, just making sure. The bear? Uh-oh.
Die so fast.
Bear. Yeah. Oh, maybe not. They heal it. Does that heal the bear? I didn't see it.
I did not notice either, honestly.
I'm not sure if it does. Well, I'll be watching for next time, because I'm actually not sure about that one.
I know it heals Chen summons. I don't know if it heals other people.
Heals all allied heroes on the map, as well as all units under Chen. From the wording it should not, it didn't look like it did. So the bear, he just running forward. Oh, there's the last one. Oh, the crack. Cheese has to deal with the BKB. Can they get put that stuff down? And there's going to be the beam getting up that last one. You have the Aegis, but you need to get out of there. Gets feared away a little, and no wow. But he just goes down, and now he's in a lot of trouble himself. He uses the ICB. Oh, 33. Goodbye. Now he's turning around. He does have the Orbit starting to do a lot of damage. No way he gets out. He doesn't. Sumail ends up helping Sox in the kill, and now Sox. Oh, no. Nice man, nerds. Oh, my God. And they get a kill outside. Dude, the techies. You act. Oh, my God. Wow, well played.
It's one of the best, man.
That's why they
tier
first take it.
techies. Yeah,
We've seen teams first banning it versus them as well. We understand now. God.
You just get carried away. You're like, we're winning a fight. No other hero in the game could punish this. And then, yeah, all your hopes and dreams just explode in a quick.
We see it here. Look, he gets lassoed in, and no one. He pops his BKB and ulti. I feel like he could have just blinked away maybe, or even Yule'd himself instead of BKBing, but obviously you're making these heat of the moment decisions. He goes down, ILTW almost survives even. Running away, obviously Sox and Sumail hit him with those last couple of damage over time abilities. And then the pain happens. There goes ILTW, and here we go. I love it. He's pinging the entire time too. Over here, over. And then Axe, I love it. Rezo didn't just run. He didn't just run away, right? They go back in. This is your 2 supports and your offlaner, and they're able to 3v5 you at the end.
I like how he ran away, making it look like he was really scared. As they see Lone Drew, they know he's here. They're smart.
There. That's going to be an easy stop. There's the Orchid. They get the fear up on one, but the Orchid should be enough damage to get it. It will.
No back.
60 seconds down. That is a...
No bear for 80 either.
And an Arcanian Queen of Pain with this ulti coming off cooldown. Good on the BKB as well.
I think they don't know if his buyback's up, but they know that there's no bear. So it doesn't really matter if he potentially buys back here as Troll. Just walking down the top lane, 15k network lead, by the way. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, VP is this last 15-20 minutes has felt like all of them. Some good fights from OG per normal, like that one in the base, but the overextension kind of nullified the good fight. And Seb, as you said, he is getting these nice lassos, killing the quad that time, but you're going to have to do that every single fight to even stand a chance. And the odds of that happening, probably low, but it is Seb, so we'll see.
I just want to keep bringing attention to the kill that no one did on Seb early, because Seb was going to be at like 7.5 minute boot travel, and there's potential for them to just feed off a 90-second cooldown, and ILTW may not have been able to get his BKB in time. And that just changed so much about the game. Most mid laners, they're not willing to just move around the map, basically saying, okay, enemy mid, you can have a 2-level advantage on me.
It's a lone druid, like he'll push your tower, and he was willing.
Yeah, it's just really good awareness of like exactly what his team needs from him. And I think for someone as mechanically skilled as no one, who also probably has like the cockiness, swagger to want to take over the game. Yeah. It's basically selfless, right? You are sacrificing your own progression in the game, but by no means is his farm hurting us. He is right up neck and neck with his own troll warrior.
Wow, big shoutouts to no one again.
Also the Rezo. Interesting. It does help him set up for his own call. Yeah. It also allows him to Yules himself when he's getting hit by Monkey King, so he doesn't have to give him Jingu.
There's no BKB on the Bat Rider. Can he just blink ahead if someone gets pulled and just Yules the Bat Rider? Absolutely. Oh, well, we'll see what happens. No, because it's just the techies by himself, and goodbye.
He's dead.
That is a decent amount of gold. Dude, Sox is getting a lot of these kills in this late game. He almost has the Ags about 1,000 away now. And goodbye, Seb. I just love the mass pings from him as well as he dies. Like, well, that sucks.
OG's kind of been clowning in a lot of these games, and you can't help but kind of laugh at them and just get more enjoyment out of it knowing it's them.
Yeah, techies especially, you know, enjoying this. Will they get it? Oh. He has the Satanic now, by the way, so SNY Satanic. His status resistance is at 44% right now. Stuns lasting half as long. That's pretty bad.
They call the bear and they silence it, but they can't use the fear from the hero itself. Yeah.
And we have you anything in that? Inkswell.
Dude, that's no bear for 40.
And that's 300 gold. You forget, it's a lot of gold.
At this stage in the game, I care much more about the cooldown, but...
Don't you care about both? You don't care about gold at all?
Nah, man. He's got 20,000 net worth. Like in the early game, you know, it's like, that's like 1/10 of your net worth you're gaining, but in this stage, that's like a creep wave for him, so...
Monkey King getting very low just from Techie's mines, has to jump away. Luckily does have the Chen, so he heals up a decent amount. When do you want to try to end this game as VP? Do you have to? Do you have the superior late game anyway, so you're okay with this pace? You just wait for the Roche, maybe?
Yeah, just wait for Roche, I think. You have really good pickoff as well. OG's forced to play together, as you see here. Like Sumail, he's not survivable. He's forced to be near his team, which means they're not being efficient. You're probably getting more net worth per minute than they are. And you get this Lincoln's out on Quap, which you now have. It's just really hard for OG to take the fights that they want. He can Lincoln's up his troll as he runs through the high ground like this.
Oh, Seb.
Good boss.
Rezo willing to blink Gordon, even look for someone. Not quite yet. They're running away.
This is the get back in your base play. We're the sheepdogs. You're the sheep. Get out of here.
I will say this Radiance Ags Monkey King, pretty annoying. Continues to just push out these waves super easily. Jumps down. One of these statues come up. Pretty easy. We have a silence going out, but Grimstroke brought down immediately. You do use a lot of ultis. And his Roshan up, not quite yet. It may respawn in 5, so we'll know then.
They have the Techie's Ags inside the pit. By the way, this specific mine spot cannot be seen unless you are right on top of it. Yeah. It is this little nook and cranny that you can't see from inside the Roche pit, and you can't see it from outside. You have to walk right over it. So I can't imagine OG having any like feasible way to get inside that Roche pit without just blowing up.
We'll see, because it does respawn in a minute. I assume once VP knows it's up, they will beeline straight towards it, and that's a decision. Does OG try to take the fight back? Probably not a good idea, but I feel like it's top.
The Yule's top.
He does it. He gets the call, as you said. There's a DP in. No one's there. There's going to be the silence. He does have a teleport. Can he make it? No, the Firefly wears off. He can't make it to the waterfall.
That's the nice part about this Yules, is it gives his team an extra 2.5 seconds to catch up to him when he finds these pickoffs. And it's also very hard to blink call a Batrider if he's got quick fingers, because the call does have a slight animation to it. On the other hand, Yules is instacast, and They're just well itemized, well played. I'm thoroughly impressed. VP's already been looking good this entire
Hell
tournament,
yeah.
and I thought they had some serious holes in their draft, and they've worked around them so well. And that to me speaks heaps and bounds. The first game looked pretty straightforward. All they had to do was just play their heroes normally and they win the game. Every hero has like an ideal way that they want to play the game. In this game, because of this Batrider pick, because of this Lone Druid in the mid lane, things were not ideal. Queen of Pain spent the entire game rotating. Troll couldn't fight for at least the first 15 minutes of the game, and he had to rush that BKB, but they adjusted in the way that they had to, and it just goes to show like how the game has played out, right? It's even at 15 minutes into the game, and they navigated the part of the game where OG was supposed to be stronger, and now since they got past that part on even footing, they are looking good to go. I predicted a potential stop for OG, but man, VP has proven me wrong. I would never see on
Troll. It feels like we haven't seen on Troll in a while. They're leaving it. Definitely don't give it to Red.
Don't give it to
Please don't give it to Red.
Rimstroke.
You're not a, you know, the Dark Portrait,
Of who? I guess a Monkey King?
and then you get the Radiance.
Seems underwhelming compared to a 40-second.
Tried to kill the bear with those mines there, but
Queen of Pain hold on 40-second cooldown seems pretty nice.
that is all. But speaking of Queen of Pain, the level 25 there is gonna be last. On any of those three, if they know that they can send it, right? Don't even need the racks. Don't go for it.
You have a Troll Warlord with an Orb of Destruction.
And they do go for it. Red goes like, yo, I'm finding you. I'm definitely going to end it. And they do go for it. Maybe if OG sees it, they will still fight till the end, but this is the end. Wow. Virtus freaking pro, man.
They're looking like a pro team, I'd say.
Oh, and there's going to be the Blade Mill to call. Might as well get a couple extra kills, you know, Fountain camp them. Will they go in? Sox is like, nah, it's not over yet. With the 5x trying to defend the LO. I hope he doesn't like, shut the hell up. I'm ending this.
I think OG made incredibly good adjustments in their draft this game, and I think VP just dissected them. Obviously, they have standings. There's no excuse, though. Like, VP just the better team in this series, period. Without drafting the first game, even if it's an even draft, I don't really care. In the second game, they clearly had to make some cool, smart moves, and
Raise Thank you.